Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Liz Massey.
And I'm Craig O'Neill. You're watching THV First in HD. Our top story, rising floodwaters create yet another traffic disaster in Arkansas. The White River is inching onto Interstate 40 in Prairie County. The state shut a section down near mile marker 202 just about 4 hours ago. THV's Max Siegel is live along I-40 with the latest.
Hey, good evening, Craig. Here along this stretch of I-40 at Kerr Road in Lonoke County, traffic moving just fine at this 6 o'clock hour, but a much different scene further down the road at mile marker 202. That's where the westbound lanes of I-40 are closed. And if we could, let's go right to the video now and show you the scene that we shot earlier this afternoon in Prairie County, the White River flooding the westbound lanes of Interstate 40 and backing up traffic there. It sounds like I'm hearing that video now showing the scene there. Highway officials, state highway officials are urging folks to avoid this area in both directions if you can tonight, calling it a real inconvenience. Those are the words that came from Glenn Bullock, a spokesman for the state highway department, at a press conference this afternoon. Now, as for detours, the highway department is detouring westbound traffic at Brinkley onto Highway 89 North. We should have a map to give you the specifics there on your screen now. Eastbound lanes, they are not closed at this point, but the highway department calling this situation imminent in the eastbound lane, so any moment now it could change and they could be shut down. Detour there is set for Hazen if they move forward, again with eastbound shutting down the eastbound lanes. Highway officials basically right now scrambling to get all this information out to drivers.
We're trying to get the word out from Oklahoma to the other side of Tennessee. It's imminent that I-40 is going to close, eastbound and westbound.
Now, Bullock says they have a crew, staff on call to make the call on that eastbound situation. Again, they are not closed yet, but they've got workers on call to make that call again when they have to do that. We will, of course, bring that information to you when we get that. As far as the westbound situation, a statement from the State Highway Department said this afternoon, quote, "It is impossible to project when those lanes will reopen." Craig, back to you.
All right, Max Siegel live tonight along I-40. Thank you. And for more on the detours, we have detailed instructions and a map on today'sTHV.com. Just click on the story. Drivers traveling through the Jacksonville area today woke up to some good news. All this week, Highway 67 and 167 has looked like this and was shut down near Jacksonville. Well, today, the highway is mostly back open. The water has receded, and as of now, only one southbound lane is closed.
Well, today, a new perspective on the massive flooding that's crippled much of the state. Governor Mike Beebe surveyed the damage by air, taking off from Camp Robinson this morning. THV chief photojournalist Orrin Hardcastle went along. The governor toured flooded areas of Jackson and Prairie counties, making stops at Jacksonport and Des Arc. He also surveyed areas along U.S. Highway 67 and 167 and communities impacted by the White River. Governor Beebe says he's never seen the water so high.
People need to heed the warnings from don't drive around barricades. If they tell you that it's going to be unsafe and you need to evacuate, you ought to pay attention to it, but some people don't.
We will have much more on the governor's flyover tonight on the THV 10 o'clock difference.
Arkansas's weatherman Ed Buckner joins us now with a first look at your forecast.
It just kind of hits you when you realize that folks are still dealing with weather-related problems, and it's been dry now for over 2 days, and we've got several more days where we will see dry and quiet weather. So at least that part of the spectrum, things are cooperating. Here's a satellite and radar. Nothing there to show you. A couple of clouds earlier today, but high pressure really building in, and that means lots and lots of sunshine. Current temperatures a little bit below average, about 10 degrees cooler than average, but nice. 69 here, 60 in Nashville, and 74 over in Oklahoma City, 73 in Dallas. Some of that slightly warmer air will try to move in tomorrow, but we really won't see a big warm up until later in the week. 48 our overnight low, and 74 for Thursday afternoon, lots of sunshine. But by the weekend, Saturday and Sunday could be looking at highs in the 80s. And North Arkansas, a slight chance for rain tomorrow night. We'll talk about all that coming up.
All right, thank you, Ed. Water problems continue for the city of Clinton tonight. High sediment levels resulted in a boil order last week, which was just lifted an hour ago. Then bottled water given out by the city was recalled when the health department learned it too may be contaminated. THV's Meredith Mitchell spent the day in Clinton and joins us in the Information Center with more on this story. Meredith? That's Meredith in the having a little mic trouble there. She said that the boil order was placed and then bottled water was given to residents and recalled.
Very good. Packages of bottled water began trickling back to a water distribution center in Clinton Wednesday. Residents were given the water to cope with the recent boil order. But after the Arkansas Health Department issued a recall, the city wants it back.
I think we distributed about 13, 14 semi-trailer loads of water. Now we've got 16 pallets that we're looking for to get back right now.
Mayor Roger Rory says the city bought some of the water and some is donated. Now the Mountain Pure bottled water may contain mold. The initial water problems began last week when debris from Greers Ferry Lake began flowing into water intakes. This slowed the plant's production and treatment.
What we're up against has kind of got us mystified because we haven't experienced this before. We've experienced dirty water a lot of times, but not what we're trying to treat now. We've never experienced it, and it's just real high turbidity, which is the percentage of dirt in the water.
The mayor says the good news is residents still have running water even if it's not up to drinking standards.
We can wash our clothes. I shower in it. It's safe for everything except drinking.
Now, we did receive word late this afternoon from the Arkansas Health Department that the boil order for the city of Clinton has been lifted. However, residents who are on Van Buren County, Denard, or B Branch waters are all still under a boil order. Craig?
All right, thank you, Meredith. The water being recalled is distributed by Mountain Pure Water and has a best buy date of 2/27/2013 MPWA and 2/18/2013 MPWA.
The record rainfall across the state leads several Arkansas counties to enact emergency action plans. The National Weather Service is observing major flooding in southeast Arkansas's Monroe County. The White River runs through the city of Clarendon. It's currently risen to about 33 feet. Weather Service officials expect it to rise up to 5 more feet in the next few days. But Mayor Jim Stinson says he's not concerned about floods.
If our levee was weak, I'd be worried about it. But our levee was inspected last year, and they said it's one of the best levees they've seen.
The Jefferson County Office of Emergency Management says that area has been flooded for several days and several homes and businesses already have sandbags. At this time, they are not taking any extra steps to prepare for additional floodwaters. And in Arkansas County, County Judge Sonny Cox says he believes the floodwaters are still 2 to 4 days away from that area. In a THV update, still no sign of a Lonoke County man authorities believe was swept away by floodwaters yesterday. Search crews were back out at Highway 236 today trying to find any sign of Carl Hess of Ward. Authorities say Hess was on his way to work when he went around barricades and was swept off the road by floodwaters. He reportedly called his wife to say his truck had stalled and he was in water up to his neck.
Despite sunny skies and nice weather the past 2 days, many Arkansans are still dealing with a big annoyance, standing floodwater, and it's not only annoying, it can be dangerous. THV's Lauren Clark shows us why.
Clean flowing water inside could be the difference between health and illness if you come in contact with standing waters outside. With recent flooding across Arkansas, many people have puddles and pools in places which normally remain dry. Ed Barham with the Department of Health says avoid them, even if they seem harmless.
If you have to be in it yourself, as many of us are going to have to be in cleaning up the mess that's happening all over the place, be careful to wear boots or rubber gloves and goggles, because the water that's washed up into your yards and into your homes may be carrying a number of things that are kind of nasty.
Barham reminds parents to be extra cautious about kids and pets because they don't know it could contain chemicals or even raw sewage.
If you just even wipe your eyes or touch your mouth, your nose, you can carry some of that bacteria or the germs or the bad chemicals or the whatever it is that's in that water right into your system.
Flower pots, gutters, garages, all could be hosting bacteria or parasites. Dangerous materials such as glass, nails, and other debris could also be hiding in standing water. If you have splashed in these waters, be sure to wash thoroughly your clothing and your body.
The thing you worry about the most are the things that can cause diarrheal illness and gastrointestinal illness, but there are other kinds of chemicals that would be in fertilizer, for instance, or construction use chemistry, that those things can burn or cause rashes or make you very ill.
In Little Rock, Lauren Clark, today's THV.
We've also got precautions and contact information for poison control centers listed on our website at today'sthv.com.
Well, still to come this month's Prescription Arkansas report.
Amazing new technology helping one Central Arkansas hospital save more healthy tissue in surgeries. Details in tonight's Prescription Arkansas.
Clear skies, high pressure means another nice night ahead. Not quite as chilly as last night, though. Your forecast is coming up.
THV first in HD. This is today's THV at 6.
Tell you, the Weather Garden is the place to be this time of the year with the nice weather. I've seen people in the building out in the Weather Garden that I don't think have ever been in the Weather Garden before. Throughout the course of the day, they come out and relax and enjoy the Weather Garden Shack. Let's take a look outside. Our weather net from Heber Springs showing again a mostly clear afternoon. Just a beautiful day everywhere you go. With mainly sunny skies, it's currently 68 in Heber after a high today in the lower 70s. Not bad at all. Let's go to the maps. We've got high pressure beginning to push into the area. It's actually keeping our skies mainly clear, but this ridge of high pressure will slowly drift off to the east the next couple of days, and that will allow this little weather maker to move mainly through Missouri and Illinois, but there will be a cool front attached to that, and it could bring an isolated shower to North Arkansas. So we are mentioning rain chances. We didn't really talk about this yesterday. This is new. It should stay across North Arkansas, southern Missouri, as you'll see in a minute. 71 our high today, 70 the high in North Little Rock. We're at 69. It's just beautiful. Low humidity. The winds are light out of the southeast at 7, but notice they've shifted to the southeast. That's going to allow humidity to increase the next couple of days, and that'll of course help feed some of those showers if they do develop up north. Pressure's high at 30.31. Temperature-wise, it's pleasant everywhere, mainly low 70s and upper 60s. It's 67 in Searcy, 66 in Batesville, 69 in Benton, Sheridan, and Whitehall, 68 in England. Here's the way the forecast plays out. Mainly clear tonight, but as we head here into Thursday evening, that's when you see the line of showers and storms in Missouri, which a couple of them may extend down into the northern counties. This is Friday night around midnight. It shows rain moving towards central Arkansas. I think that's overdone. If we do get rain, it won't be heavy and it'll be quick moving. Again, mainly the north half of the state. Tomorrow night, we're going to go with a slight chance of rain. It'll be out of here Friday morning and back to sunshine and warmth for the next several days. Clear and cool overnight with a low of 48 degrees. Nice tomorrow. Sunshiny and mild 74. Our average high should be about 78. So still looking really good with a southeast wind at 5 to 10. And the rest of your forecast shows pretty nice weather with temperatures gradually warming into the 80s over the weekend with humidity increasing as well. Next week, some parts of the state could be pushing 90. Stay with us. We'll be back with more.
Today's THV is sponsored by Coleman Dairy, by Superior Auto Group, and Prescription Arkansas by Baptist Health.
In this month's Prescription Arkansas report, a new type of surgery for kidney cancer. Baptist Health is the first hospital in the state and only 13th in the country to get the latest robotic fluorescence technology. Using dyes, it helps doctors using the Da Vinci robotic system tell the difference between healthy and cancerous tissue.
Once that dye is given, within seconds, the normal kidney tissue takes up the dye and it turns green, but the tumor itself stays white or does not. So what it lets us do is pinpoint where that tumor is.
That means using the robotic system, they can cut the cancer away along with only a small part of healthy tissue to ensure they have removed the cancer. We will have more on this new technology tonight on the THV 10 o'clock difference.
Wes Moore joins us now with sports. Arch is number one. The trouble is that's the post position for the Kentucky Derby.
Well, is that bad?
Well, historically, yes.
Not good. Well, not what they were hoping for, I can tell you that. But it has happened before. That horse has won from the one spot. We'll hear from the jockey, John Court, next. Plus, we'll hear from Dave Van Horn. Hogs try to make it 2 in a row. It'll be easy to remember what number Arch is Saturday at the Kentucky Derby. The Arkansas Derby winner drew post position number 1. Bob and Val Yagos, the owners of Arch, and trainer Jinx Fires were there for the post position draw. Arch is 10-1 on the early betting line. That's the 4th favorite. Only 2 horses in the last 40 years have won the Derby from the #1 position. Winning Colors in 1988 and Fernandad in 1986. Trainer Jinx Fires and jockey John Court, though, aren't too worried about the draw.
Well, Jinx got the best attitude that anyone can have as a human being, and he just said that's the way the one horse we drew it, and we're just going to make it work.
And your thoughts about it?
That's a big boost of confidence. There's nothing negative about his attitude or what his outlook, and he not only boosts my confidence, but instills a lot of confidence in the outcome of whatever the race may become.
And we'll be in Louisville for the Kentucky Derby. I'm leaving tomorrow. Reports start Friday. First pitch for Arkansas's game against Southeast Missouri State is just minutes away. The Hogs scored 5 in the first and 3 in the third to jump out to an early 8-0 early lead last night. Arkansas won 10-0 to pick up their 30th win of the season. True freshman Ryan Stanek gets the start tonight. Last night, the Razorbacks got their closer some work, and Dave Van Horn said that Nolan Sandberg looked pretty good.
I thought he threw real well out of the windup and not real good out of the stretch. That's what I saw. So that's something we got to work on. But he had good stuff. He had a good breaking ball and good fastball. That zone seemed to be jumping around a little bit.
The UALR baseball Trojans are getting a change of scenery tonight. They're playing number 10 Oklahoma at Dickey-Stephens Park. Ayanna Crystal joins us live with more.
That's right, Wes. They're expecting a big crowd for tonight's game as the Trojans take on the Sooners. And as you can see, it's the perfect night to enjoy some baseball. Fans are just starting to fill the stands. And Coach Norwood said it's the perfect opportunity for Razorback fans to cheer against the Sooners. Now, the Trojans are coming off a road trip against the Ragin' Cajuns where they went 0-3. And before that, they had a home streak and also went 0-3 against Florida International. So Coach Norwood said they took their losses and now they're trying to piece together everything they were doing right. His main priority is playing consistent, and he thinks if they do so, the sky is the limit, and they're looking to bounce back against the top-ranked team at a big stage at Dickey-Stephens Park.
We like it. It's a great opportunity. It's some things that we've talked about, hopefully doing even more in the future. And it's a beautiful park, and sitting in the surroundings in downtown here just gives our kids an opportunity to play in a pro park where they all have dreams of being one day anyway.
I mean, obviously you get pumped up for every kind of game, but this is a big one. You know, a lot of guys from Oklahoma, and so, coaches from Oklahoma. So, we really want this one. But like I said, you want everyone.
All right, well, game time is set for tonight at 7 p.m., and we'll have all those highlights for you tonight at 10. At Dickey-Stephens Park, I'm Ayanna Crystal for today's THV.
All right, thanks a lot, Ayanna. And with the Trojans playing there, that means the Travelers are gone out of town. Travelers lost today at Tulsa.
All right, we'll be right back.
Coming up on today's THV at 6:30, normally our weekend outdoor report runs on Friday, but this Friday we'll be in Louisville for the Kentucky Derby, so we've moved our weekend outdoor report to today, and we've got something really special. We're going to be cooking up some carp. Carp,
really?
Yes, carp.
Didn't see that
The
often.
new white meat, carp.
We'll see how that works out. The White House has decided against releasing the picture of a dead Osama bin Laden. Who do you feel how do you feel about that? Coming up in a THV Insider, we'll find out what some of you have to say about that, and we'll tell you what our policy is here at today's THV when something like that arises.
Now, from Arkansas's news and high-definition leader, THV, first in HD. This is today's THV at 6:30.
Hello, welcome to THV First in HD. I'm Dawn Scott. Here's a look at the day's top news stories. President Barack Obama says the White House will not officially release a photo of Osama bin Laden's body. Mr. Obama announced his decision during an interview Wednesday with CBS show 60 Minutes. The White House had been weighing the release of this photo, in part to offer proof that bin Laden was actually dead. However, officials had cautioned that the photo was gruesome and could be inflammatory. We will have more on this debate later in the show in a THV Insider. After Navy SEALs killed Osama bin Laden, they discovered $750 cash and a pair of phone numbers sewn into his clothing. All a sign the al-Qaeda leader was ready to run at a moment's notice. Right now, intelligence analysts are poring over computer equipment U.S. forces seized when they raided the compound. CIA officials are hoping to find valuable information. Speaking on Capitol Hill today, Attorney General Eric Holder says he has serious concerns about American safety from possible revenge attacks for bin Laden's death. Holder testified today he thinks bin Laden's death ultimately will make the U.S. safer, but he is still trying to assess the risk that terrorists may avenge this killing. President Barack Obama appears to be seeing a bump in his approval ratings in the aftermath of Osama bin Laden's death. The number spiked to 57% in a New York Times CBS News poll and 56% in a Washington Post Pew Research Center poll. It recently had been below 50%. Tomorrow, the president plans to head to the World Trade Center site in New York City to remember victims of the 9/11 terror attacks. Former President George W. Bush will not be joining him, even though Mr. Obama did invite him. Former president spokesperson says Mr. Bush chooses to remain largely out of the spotlight after his presidency, but that he continues to celebrate with all Americans. He says that this important victory in the war on terror. Floodwaters shut down a large section of Interstate 40 between Memphis and Little Rock today. Right now, the westbound lanes at mile marker 202 are closed, and the closing of the eastbound lanes, officials say, is imminent. That is near where it crosses the White River. Westbound traffic will be diverted at Brinkley and directed to Little Rock via Bald Knob. Eastbound traffic will exit at Hazen and be diverted to DeWitt before crossing the White River and back to the interstate at both Brinkley and Forest City. Better news for those traveling from Searcy, Cabot, and Jacksonville to Central Arkansas. This is what it looked like yesterday. Today, all but one southbound lane of Highway 67-167 is open again. And still no sign of a Ward man who is believed to have been swept away by floodwaters in Lonoke County. Search teams were back out along Highway 236 hoping to find some sign of Carl Hess. Authorities say he was on his way to work and apparently drove around barricades when his truck was swept away by floodwaters. His truck was found at the scene. A Hungarian liquor company has set up a vending machine in the airport at Budapest to give departing guests one last taste of their product. The machine is called a Schnapsomat or Schnapsomat. I'm not quite sure. It's in the presidential lounge. It dispenses brandy called Palinka, and that's a brandy made of cherries, plums, and apricots. It's free of charge. The lounge is mainly used by visiting diplomats who've spent the day attending some very stressful, sometimes heated meetings.
Don't think you'll see that in any break room anytime soon, but it certainly looks invigorating. Craig said, choosing his words carefully. Your reaction to this issue of showing the photograph of Osama bin Laden has blown up on Facebook.
Well, and Twitter and everywhere else all around the world, people have really mixed opinions about whether these photos should be released or not. And we'll look more at this in our THV Insider coming up later in the show.
Also in tonight's Capital City cold case, police need your help solving a Christmas Day murder. Also, we have an update on a cold case from a couple of months ago. There's been an arrest in a case. We'll have the latest on that.
Ed has a look at our forecast as well, and it looks like we need some drying out weather, and that may be what we're going to get.
Yeah, we've had a couple of days now. Looks like we'll get several more. There is a slight chance of rain tomorrow late, mainly across North Arkansas, but for the rest of the period, it looks to be dry. Here's our live view weather net from Searcy this time around. A little bit of a breeze there with clear skies and a current reading of 68 degrees. High today there made it to 71, so it is very pleasant, and temperatures continue to be a little cooler than average. But there is a warm up in store, and we'll talk about your extended coming up. Wes?
Have you ever eaten carp? I know.
No.
You ate some, and you ate a little bit this afternoon, and it was good. You liked it.
Does it taste like carp?
Good. Yes, it was. I liked it.
Well, the details on cooking carp a little later.
All right. Thanks so much, Wes. Well, stocks closed lower today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 84 points. Here are the numbers. We'll be right back.
Today's THV is sponsored by Wilson's Home Improvement.
Chuck.
In tonight's THV Insider, the president's decision against releasing Osama bin Laden death photos. Today, President Obama revealed his decision on the CBS show 60 Minutes. He told our nation that showing such photos would potentially inflame Muslim anger and create a national security risk. The president also says he doesn't want them potentially used as propaganda tools. U.S. Navy SEALs killed bin Laden Monday. They stormed his compound in Pakistan, shooting him twice, once in the head, once in the chest. Photos have been described as several sources as gruesome. They sparked debate in the Obama administration, in fact. It was all an effort to strike a balance between addressing doubt that it was in fact bin Laden and unnecessarily offending the Muslim world. Ultimately, the president decided to keep the photos sealed. The entire debate pushed us to take a look at THV policy regarding such photographic images. Normally, we do not show dead bodies or body bags on our air, but the magnitude of this death is such that we did examine whether we would break our own policy, because a blanket policy obviously doesn't cover every circumstance. Ultimately, we decided that we would stick with our policy. We set this standard and we would not violate that had the photos been released. If they had, we may have provided a link to the government-issued photos at our website, todaysthv.com, but we would not have shown the photos on our air. What do you think of the president's decision? We asked, and the response was overwhelming. Here are some of your Facebook and Twitter replies. THV Facebook fan Noel Sorrows says, "Good choice, President Obama. I don't want to see pictures of a corpse all over the media. I take the president and military officials at their word. I have no reason to think that they would make up such a lie." Another THV Facebook fan, though, John Boren, writes, "Nope, don't agree. I believe that would give closure to some and hush up some of the conspiracy theorists. Why did we have to watch replay after replay of 9/11 and are not allowed to see this? Just doesn't seem right to me." On Twitter, at @TBassett1972 says, "You can argue it either way, but I think most of America wants to see them for closure. We had to watch American people jump out of the burning towers and see all the pain he brought to us. If you don't want to see them, you have that option." And at Josh Mesker writes, "Of course, it's hard to call a photo proof anymore, but what about the raid video instead?" We do thank you all for weighing in. Again, our goal is to bring transparency to what we do, letting you in on how we cover the news. Email me anytime, THVinsider@todaysthv.com, and I'll respond in this segment at 6:30. Much more coming up after a break.
THV first in HD. This is today's THV at 6:30.
Nice weather does continue. It looks like it'll stay for the next couple of days. We've got mostly clear skies. This is our weather net from Searcy. Matter of fact, mostly clear skies, the rule all over the state. Current temperature 67 there at the White County Courthouse with a south wind between 5 and 10 miles an hour. The high there made it to 71. They started out at 48 degrees. It was a chilly start, and we'll be in that ballpark again tonight. Let's look at the satellite perspective just to prove to you not much here going on. There were a couple of areas where we saw some cumulus clouds try to form, but with high pressure, it's sinking air. And anything that tries to develop usually gets cut off, and that's pretty much the case. Now, there is a system coming this way in about 24 hours that will scoot across Missouri, and that'll bring us North Arkansas, a chance for rain tomorrow night. Just a slight chance there. 71 was our high today, and again, a cool start, 46. The record low was 40, so we were closer to the record than the average. North Little Rock, 50 and 70 the extremes there, and we're still in that surplus with rainfall. Don't need any of that anytime real soon. 69 was sunshine, dew points low, humidity nice at 47%. The winds are light out of the southeast, and the pressure, well, it's high at 30.31. Now watch the 48-hour forecast and you'll see what I'm talking about. Nice tomorrow. Until we get to tomorrow night, that system moving through Missouri and Wisconsin and Illinois will bring a trailing cool front through North Arkansas, and that's tomorrow night around 7 or 8. And then you see what happens around 1 o'clock in the morning. It'll skirt the northernmost counties. It won't bring a lot of rain, and it will be a fast mover. But if nothing else, we will cloud up tomorrow night across North Arkansas as that system moves to our north. 48 tonight with mainly clear skies and a light east wind at 5 miles an hour. Tomorrow, sunshine, mild, still running a little bit below average. 74 will be our afternoon high temperature. And 78 by Friday, 81 on Saturday. And a little bit more warmth coming in toward the weekend. Still not much in the way of any rain expected anytime real soon. Well, we have a new cold case tonight and an update on an old one. So stay right here.
An attempted robbery leads to murder, and after more than 5.5 years later, still no arrests. In tonight's Capital City cold case, the cases may be old but not forgotten. That's why today's THV has partnered with Little Rock Police to try and solve them. And Officer Bruce Jones with the Little Rock Police Department joins me now to talk more about this cold case. Tell us a little bit. It happened on Christmas Day.